This is Two Chicks Talkin Flicks, where we review movies. Love them or hate them, someone's got to do it. So enjoy the show. Hi, I'm Sarah.
And I'm April.
And this is Two Chicks Talkin Flicks.
And anything else that gets in the mix.
So, April, we prolonged your April's month of movies.
It's the month that keeps on giving.
It really, really does. So
4 weeks just isn't enough for me.
Exactly. What is the last movie of your choosing?
For this year, it's going to be Idiocracy.
Yes.
Yay.
And, you know, I didn't think that we could just do this one with just ourselves. So, did we bring somebody?
I think we did.
Is there anybody there?
I last time I checked, I was somebody, but I don't know. It depends on who you're asking.
Let's see here. Nope, that didn't work. Did you hear it? Did it make a noise?
Did I hear what?
Oh.
She's using her fancy buttons she never uses,
Yeah.
like for applause and stuff,
Yeah,
and
but
nothing happened.
I didn't hear anything.
Wah, wah.
Let's see here.
Oh!
Well, that worked. Oh, well, there we go.
Yay.
That was perfect.
Wow.
Well, Ryan, welcome to our show.
Thank you.
So we have Ryan with Chaos and Conversations. I have been on your show recently. That episode will be out soon.
Yes, this upcoming Sunday, the 14th. So I think it'll be on Mother's Day.
Okay, yes, it'll be 2 days before this episode. So just, people will go back in time.
So what movie did y'all do?
We didn't do a movie.
Oh, that's
No.
right. Yeah.
Yeah, we talked about Blockbuster, the possible resurgence of it.
Mm-hmm.
I just can't see that happening.
And so I tried to set you up with like a play date or a new best friend. I don't know what you want to call it, but there's a guy on Facebook. I think I told you about him. He's Cinematic Anarchy.
Okay.
And I told Ryan about him and I said, hey, this guy is looking for people to talk about these kind of movies. And then I went to Chris at Cinematic Anarchy and I told him about you. So I don't know if he has gotten in touch with you, but I'm trying. I'm willing to.
He immediately followed me.
Oh, good.
Ooh.
Yeah, he told me he listened to quite a few episodes. So I didn't know if he was like stalking you from like afar, or if he like got in touch with you. But
Well, he did follow me on social media. I haven't had any actual interaction with him yet.
Okay.
I was unaware that he was listening to episodes because when somebody listens to an episode, it really only shows up as a number.
Yeah.
So it doesn't really give me a breakdown of who's listening.
yeah.
Like I said, I haven't really had any, one-on-one interaction with him yet.
Okay. Well, I got on his podcast and he's going to have some like dental work done. So he's not gonna be able to like chat for a bit. Mm-hmm. And so he wanted to bank some episodes and we actually got on and talked about movie theaters and he worked at a movie rental place. And so we talked about that and I was like, well, I just did this with somebody else. So I kind of feel like a two-timer, but I thought, well, I was trying to get both my two-timers together.
But you know what? It gave you a chance to mention the things you forgot to mention.
True.
Yeah.
There you go.
I kind of was more on the side of talking about the movie theater because I worked at a movie theater because Blockbuster wouldn't hire me because I didn't have enough movie experience.
Ooh.
Yeah. So they can go to hell, Blockbuster. What do
If
you
only
think you're
they
doing?
could see you now.
I know, right? Sheesh. This increasingly popular movie review podcast. They would just be kicking themselves.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I found the right button that time.
Yay.
So we invited you to come and listen to or review Idiocracy. If you wanted to give the people at home that haven't watched this movie just a small summary of the movie, what would you say?
It's an exercise for your brain.
Yeah.
Like I went into it, obviously you go into a movie looking for the entertainment aspect of it, which I absolutely found. I was laughing through the whole thing.
Question.
But I think...
Have you seen this movie before this?
Mm-mm.
No, I actually just watched it for the first time about 25 minutes ago.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow. Okay. So this is fresh for you.
Fresh.
And there's actually a funny story behind that because I believe, if I'm not mistaken, it came out in 2006.
Mm-hmm.
And from the time it came out, I've had friends of mine nagging the living daylights out of me to watch it. And I was always dismissive of it. I'm like, yeah, I'll watch it at some point.
Yeah.
And I think if I had watched it back in 2006 when it came out, I probably would not have really gotten anything out of it because I don't know. I think I would have just seen it as ridiculous, but seeing the
Evolution.
society and seeing the society and culture that we're facing right now, I think the movie was more of a horror movie because I'm looking at the movie going, we're staring down the barrel of, this being real life in the not too distant future.
Yeah.
And the psychological aspect of it is insane. So.
Yeah. So April, do you want to give like a synopsis, like a brief,
Okay, brief.
brief.
Basically, the U.S. government has an experiment, and they want to basically freeze two humans, a male and a female, and wake them up in a year, see if they're still alive. So they find two people that nobody would miss in case their experiment goes wrong. And basically their experiment gets forgotten, bulldozed over, and then 100 years later or
500
years later, their little pods bust open and they are in a future that isn't very futuristic. It's dystopian. There you go. So now you have this man and this woman who are the smartest people in the world. So,
and they were like average Joes.
Exactly. So, yeah.
And I think the one thing that kind of shocked me was when they were describing the program before they froze the two individuals. When they were actually describing the program, they said, we want to freeze the best of the best so that we can bring them back in the future and see how they can help us or something of that nature. But when they actually finally got the two individuals that they froze, they said, we are going to freeze these two because they're average and nobody will miss them. It's like, you just said that you wanted to freeze the best of the best so that they could contribute to society in the future. It's like, but now you're saying that you want to freeze these two because they're average. That was one thing I didn't get. I think that there was a miscommunication there.
I think at this point, they've moved on from their animal experiments and they're moving into their human experiments. So whenever you do an experiment, you want to hit a baseline. That's why they found their most average person.
Yeah.
And that's why they were only going to be frozen for a year.
Yeah.
So think about it. The best of the best, they're going to be more muscular. They're going to need more oxygen or, more metabolism. I don't really know what their process is to freeze them, but in order to maintain that, that's probably why they were using the average. I mean, they're still in the infancy of this project.
Yeah. Well, plus you don't want to kill two bright people, you want to see what happens with two people that no one cares about.
Yeah. What I love about the intro is how you see that one dad who just keeps repopulating and repopulating. And then the other couple that's educated and they're like waiting and waiting and waiting and they never have a child.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is kind of how
what's happening now.
Yeah. Like,
Yeah.
adults our age are just not having kids.
I saw a thing that somebody was like, plants are the new pets and pets are the new kids. And then somebody was like, well, what are kids? And they're like, kids are like the exotic animals. Only the crazy or the super rich have them.
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of true.
Yeah.
When I saw this, I was like, April had like a theme with all of her movies.
I did?
Except for the Royal Tenenbaums. Yesterday was like a parallel timeline, right?
Yeah.
This one is a parallel time or a jump in the future.
Yeah.
And then Ready Player One is in the future and it's dystopian, just like this. Like they all have the same kind of like feel.
And I guess the Royal Tenenbaums did try to feel lived in.
Yeah.
So
you just had like a theme going.
I did.
But all I could think was, man, this is very similar to Ready Player One, like watching this movie.
You are in the game.
Yeah. Except it was more real life and not, whatever. And then it also kind of reminded me of something else and I can't remember what it was. Oh, Wall-E.
Oh,
It's very kind of Wall-E-ish, where people are just dumb and can't do anything for themselves anymore. But like the thing that bothered me, and this is so minute, but if they were that dumb, why did they still have like doctors and lawyers? If these people just didn't really like, I don't know.
I think the doctor aspect is more of the whole society is more of a monkey see, monkey do. Yeah. Like, okay, you have a headache, we're going to give you an aspirin. How do you make aspirin? You just mix these ingredients, or they have machines that mix those ingredients, or maybe they have a machine that fixes the machine that makes the Advil.
I kept thinking we were going to run into like a secret group of like smart people that have just been like hiding out. That's what I kept thinking was going to happen.
Oh, you hadn't seen this before either?
No.
Oh, wow.
Or I thought he would like run into like the billionaires that are running this whole thing and like taking bets on the stupid people that are, walking around. And when he saw that lady, the mom trying to get those fries, I thought she had something to like, she was actually like low key smart. Mm-hmm. But no, there was nobody. I mean, the president kind of.
I mean, he hired Not Sure.
Yeah. My favorite part of this whole entire movie is when he convinces them that he was supposed to be released from jail.
Oh, yeah. I think he's like, stupid. You're supposed to go in that line.
Stupid. I was like, that's great.
Did you guys happen to see the similarities between Idiocracy and I know the Idiocracy came before it, but did you guys see the similarities between Idiocracy and what was it called? The Passengers with Chris Pratt and Jennifer Lawrence?
Huh.
As far as the freezing them and them waking up. Actually, they woke up too early.
Yeah.
In The Passengers, but it was very much a sense of a movie or a story of survival. I think with both, and then I think the dystopia aspect of it reminded me of Fifth Element.
Oh, okay.
Oh. I agree with you on Passengers. Yeah, I see it. I see what you mean with that. Like they woke up in a place that they weren't supposed to be, and a time they weren't supposed to be, and they have to either sink or swim.
Yeah, but they're on a ship, so it's not foreign.
Yeah, but there was stuff out there trying to get them, right? Do Do you remember?
I believe so. And then, but the whole reason that they woke up on the passengers was because the ship started to malfunction, and everybody was asleep, and the AI that was running the ship couldn't fix whatever broke the pods. Because if you remember, the malfunction was what made the pods open up.
Yeah, but it only opened Chris Pratt's pod. He picked Jennifer Lawrence to get woken up because he was lonely.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. But I still think it definitely ended up being a story of survival for both of them. Granted, they hated each other for a while, but she hated him.
I mean, do we not think he would have opened up Maya Rudolph's container if she was still in it?
Well, yeah.
100%.
But I think Maya was doing very well.
Oh, she was, yeah. Hey, prostitutes, man. It's the oldest profession.
Yeah, she was doing very well for herself until the cops showed up. But luckily, they busted her out.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I loved. Okay, two things. I forgot that Costco was in the movie.
Right? I wrote that down. I was like, April loves Costco.
I do love Costco. And two, I forgot that Justin Long was in this. And I was like,
as soon as I saw him, I was like, oh my God. So we love Justin Long.
We do.
I don't know why we're not a Justin Long podcast at this point, but we love him. And sometimes he'll just pop up in movies and we have no idea. So there's another Justin Long sighting.
Yeah.
I don't know why I said spotting. That's weird.
Spotlights. I think where you meant to go.
Gruel, that sort of situation.
When I saw him, I immediately recognized him, but for the life of me, I could not think of his name until the middle of the movie. And then I'm like, wait, is that him? And then I read the credits and it ended up being him. Like, I knew I recognized him, but I don't know why my brain shut down when I was trying to think of his name.
Yep, that was him. Mm-hmm. And I was like, he must have smoked a lot of weed before he did his scene.
He didn't have to do that, and not if he's a good actor.
I love Justin Long, but I wouldn't say he's necessarily a great actor. But it just seemed to me that I think a lot of people were smoking pot while the making of this movie.
It definitely looks like a fun movie to be on.
Yeah.
If you weren't smoking pot on the set of this movie, there's something wrong with you, because I'm pretty sure all of them were on something.
Yeah. They probably just looked around every day and they were like, what the fuck are we doing right now?
Exactly.
Yeah. So it's interesting. After I saw this movie, I saw a TikTok that was talking about Crocs. And
I am wearing them right now.
I know. And what the TikTok said is like, back in 2006, they were trying to find some dumb looking futuristic shoe, and Crocs had just come out. And they decided that's going to be their future shoe. Yeah. And now look at us.
I literally got these
on the same TikTok.
I got these on Tuesday.
Really?
And as I was watching the movie yesterday, I was like, hey, he's wearing Crocs.
Yeah. I had Crocs when they first came out.
Oh.
I thought they were like house slippers.
Yeah.
They were super comfortable. They were like my summer shoe, and I loved it. I just haven't had another pair. I keep meaning to get another pair, but it just hasn't happened yet.
So I just knew nurses wore them because they were supposed to be like super comfy to wear all day. Mm-hmm. But other than that, I didn't know, like, until it became like a huge thing. Mm-hmm. But
the other reason that nurses wear them is because they're hypoallergenic and they don't hold on to any sort of germ.
Well, that's good.
Because of the material that they are.
Oh, the more you know.
Yep.
Did you guys see in the background, one of the businesses was Jack in the Box?
No.
Yeah, one of the signs. I was like, are you kidding me?
I'm just going to throw it out there. I love what they turned Starbucks into. That absolutely. I was almost falling out of my chair laughing.
Yeah.
Because
When they said, we don't have time for a hand job right now, I was like, what? and I was like, oh, that's hilarious.
Yep.
Coffee for men.
And one of the hosts of my show, he is a huge wrestling fan. So I had to text him when they introduced President Camacho as the SmackDown champion. That cracked me up. So I'm like, dude, you got to watch this.
He hadn't seen it either?
No, neither of my co-hosts have seen it, as far as I know.
Wow.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, this is definitely one of those cult classics.
Like, I just avoided it. I didn't.
Really?
It wasn't that I never heard of it. I just didn't. It didn't look like a movie I'd like.
At some point, I actually had the DVD.
I like dumb humor, but I don't like dumb humor, if that makes sense.
It was too dumb.
Yeah, like I think I probably saw it and was like, no. That looks dumb. I was also in college, so.
You know what? I actually avoided watching it out of spite just to piss off my friends because they kept on me about watching it. I avoided it out of spite.
I think we've all do that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I think one of my favorite lines from this movie that I quote from time to time that people don't get is when I'm like, when they're like, you need to stop giving like the plants Gatorade. And they're like, but it has electrolytes.
Yes.
Yeah.
But it has what plants want.
Electrolytes.
It has electrolytes.
I did like Sarah Rue was in the movie.
Yeah.
That was a nice
That's
surprise.
her name.
Yeah.
That was another one. I looked at her. I'm like, I know her name. Why can't I think of it? And that's where it is. Because it popped into my head. I'm like, that's a Sarah somebody, but what's her last name?
I love the fact that one of the kids on the cabinet won his spot.
Yeah.
Kind of like an American Idol thing.
The guy that's the Secretary of Education, I was like, that makes sense as to why they're all stupid. Because I actually thought one of the other guys in the cabinet was actually pretty smart. And I was like, and then you have that guy over education? That seems silly.
I love that the judge is the squirrel guy and Bill Dotree. That's the guy. I love him and everything.
What else is he in?
I just know he's Squirrel in The Office and he's Bill Dotree.
Okay.
Like, I'm sure I've seen him around, but like for sure that's what he's in.
I love that how he was like, do you even know what electrolytes are? And they're like, but it has electrolytes.
I love the fact that when they're in court and he starts trying to defend himself, even his own attorney like turns on him and is like, yeah, he crashed into my house. And they're like, stop talking dumb or smart or whatever the insult was.
Yeah. So I actually did this today.
Okay.
And I was telling Sarah about it, and she's never seen this movie, so she didn't get it. And then I felt even more of like, what'd they say, faggy or faggot? I was, I don't approve of that, but that's what they were calling it. So I was working at my desk and I needed to print something, but I wasn't quite finished with it. But the printer went on behind me and I was like, oh, I got to go get the thing I printed, even though I hadn't printed it yet. But I didn't know that till I was looking through the stack of papers that were printing behind me. And the girl was like standing there waiting to get them. And I'm looking through them and I was like, oh, I have something in here. But I couldn't find it. And I was like, that's really weird. I printed it. So then I go over to my desk and no, I had not printed it because I wasn't finished. So I finished it and I did print it. And she's still behind me doing something. And I go, oh, don't worry. I hadn't actually printed it yet. And so that was my fault. And she just laughed. And I go, yeah, that was very Pavlovian of me to do that. And she like kind of chuckled, but she chuckled in the way that I was like, she didn't understand what I just said. And then I was like, I kind of feel like this guy in this movie. That she was kind of like, but really was like,
I
why are you
don't care
talking
how
so
old
fancy?
you are. If you're alive in 2023 and you don't understand the concept of Pavlov's dog,
Thank you.
Nobody alive today should be unfamiliar with Pavlov's dog.
Thank you.
I don't know what that is.
It's where it's where he has the bell. He teaches the dogs to salivate when he dings the bell.
Oh, yeah, I do know what that is.
Yeah. So I think I just heard the printer and was like, oh, printer, gotta go get stuff off the even though I wasn't finished yet. And so yeah.
I want to know how you just perfectly walked into that. Like, I don't know what that is.
Yeah. I saw her face. She didn't know what it was. She didn't know what I was talking about when I said it. And so then I went over to Sarah and I explained the movie to her. And then I tell her that. And this guy behind me was like, she goes, hey, do you know what that is? And he goes, no. And she goes, you know, the dogs and they train them. He's like, oh, okay.
Just because we don't know what the term's called doesn't mean we don't know the study, I guess.
Yeah. So I was like, man, I just sound like a complete, like, highfalutin. Like, oh, Pavlov.
Next time you see her, you know what you do?
What?
Ask her if she's familiar with Schrodinger's cat.
I know that one.
There we go. Double down. Just really throw it around. I went to college. I know special stuff. Okay, let's see here. I just thought,
I don't know
perfect.
special stuff, but I was in special ed. So.
Hey,
because you're special.
I was in special reading group that they told us that it wasn't special reading group, but it was 100% for dumb kids. Just saying. But that's okay. I wear it with honor.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so I worked the election. And we were set up in the library. Oh my God.
They have books in there? No,
it was a junior high library. No, I was surprised at the amount of books they didn't have.
Oh, really?
Yeah. No, but check this out. They had a 3D printer. They had two of those little circuit printer things that you have.
Really?
Yeah. They have a whole section. Like one section of the library is your creator section.
What?
Where they have like stuff for like knitting, stuff for embroidery. They have freaking robots there that you can make.
This?
I'm not gonna say on this. I'll tell you later. But they had bedazzling machines. They had sewing machines.
Hey, you want to break into a school, April?
They had a Wii and a Nintendo. Okay, like the old school Nintendo.
Wow.
They had gaming chairs, like the ones you sit on the floor that rock. They had a few of those. They had like like old school printing press, like where you put down the little blocks and you like put paper and ink and you like, yeah, they had like a roller thing for that.
How big is this library?
Oh, it was huge. And like I looked at their books too. But yeah, it was like some of their chairs, you know how they have those cushions for your chairs because they're hard?
Yeah.
They had cushions on chairs.
How dare they?
Yeah, like it was like I spent a lot of time in the library. I would have spent even more time in this library.
Yeah, I would have skipped class just to hang out in the library.
Yeah.
That's not something I normally would say.
Yeah.
I'm lazy. I was lazy enough in school. That would have made me even worse.
Yeah. I'd be 3D printing a lot of stuff.
Dude. And they only had...
I would be 3D printing things that got me suspended probably.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was like the most amazing library ever. And like I said, you know how like I grew up in libraries that the books were like... It was completely full. Like, sure, there were a few gaps, but the thing was completely full predominantly. And this one, no. They would have 2 books displayed on a shelf with like 10 to 15 books on it or something. So yeah, they had so much space on these shelves.
Well, probably because so many books are banned now. Teachers have been going through their rooms and having to get rid of all of their books. It's crazy.
Yeah.
And this is the kind of utopian world we will have if that continues.
Not me. I don't plan to live that long.
Well, you never know when the government's just going to pick you up and put you in a pod.
That is true.
You would be the perfect person for them to take and pluck and put in a pod.
Okay, I'm not going to lie. I wouldn't mind waking up 500 years in the future and being the smartest person in the world. Yeah. I wouldn't think I would have a kick-ass name too. Not sure.
Hello, I'm Chris from Cinematic Anarchy.
And this is Nicole.
Do you like your podcast tightly written, well scripted, with witty banter and tons of information?
Well, this isn't the place for you, sweetheart. We are a very discombobulated group of weird-ass folks, but it's a lot of fun. Usually we don't know what we're doing. There's no script, there's no plan, but it's a lot of fun. Tune in.
And zone out listening to us on any one of your favorite podcasting platforms.
I listened to that episode where you made them watch that horrible, horrible show. And
The Good Family?
Yeah.
I did not make them do anything. We just all read the synopsis and we're like, we need to torture our brains and, figure out what this is.
Speaking of a show like that, I just heard Lance Bass's podcast today where he had Beverly Mitchell from Seventh Heaven on it. And
I
apparently
saw clips of it.
Seventh Heaven is like real big with the young kids now. And there's all these TikToks about it.
They're making fun of it.
Yeah, they're making fun of it, but
because I saw those TikToks,
they are watching the show too because they're making fun of it. And I was like, "Damn! I really wish I had done a Seventh Heaven podcast because I'd be raking it in."
The thing is, as against religion as the younger generation seems to be, it's weird that they're embracing that show. I mean, I could embrace it without, acknowledging the religious aspect of it, and it was just a great show. But it just seems weird that a generation who is extremely anti-religion is embracing a show like that, whether they're making fun of it or, they are a fan of it.
Well, you want to know why? Because they think the 1900s and 90s, the 1990s, were a simpler time.
That makes me want to punch people. Yeah,
it was a simpler time and it was easy peasy and kids could just play outside and they wore high water jeans and, whatever. They rode the bus.
We did not wear high waters. We wore Jinkos that were actually in the water.
Well, that was the late 90s. I'm talking the earlier.
I don't care. I'm 38 and I'm still wearing my Jinkos actually right now.
I'm wearing, I guess, boot cut pants. You kind of have, not tights, skinny jeans on, I guess.
Yeah.
Kind of a skinny jean pant. But I think that's what it is. I think they think it was just like a simpler time, the early 90s. Like, let's watch Seventh Heaven. Oh.
I mean, arguably it was a simpler time.
Didn't we feel the same way? Like, I remember growing up, you were definitely aware of like stranger danger, and like, the generation before us didn't really like, here's the thing. People have always been kidnapped. You just didn't hear about it so quickly or so much about it.
Yeah.
Especially with, I watch those unsolved mysteries, like unsolved stories. And, people have been murdered and kidnapped since forever.
Oh, yeah.
But growing up, I was like, oh, people didn't get kidnapped back in the day, Well,
that's why in the late 80s, early 90s, they had to start putting their faces on milk cartons.
I saw a thing about that. Did you know that wasn't that successful of a program?
Really?
Yeah, because here's the thing. Like, you would report, my kid is missing.
Yeah.
And then the kid will turn up, but nobody would like close out the case, or at that point your picture and information's already been sent to the milk carton people.
Yeah.
And they run it for however long the campaign is, and the person's not even missing anymore. So yeah, it was not that successful.
So mankind is becoming dumb. That's
Yeah.
what I decided from this movie.
Yeah. We're de-evolving.
Yeah. And at a
Well,
rapid
and I mean
rate.
that's exactly what the description of the movie says. They realize that society has devolved into absolute stupidity.
Yeah. Well, and like they can't even grow anything. It's very dusty because they don't have water, because they're using Gatorade because it has electrolytes to power stuff.
Well, that's not the only reason they're using it. They're using it because the Gatorade company forced them to stop using water.
Yeah. Well, and like everything that they wear has
Branded.
yeah, it's all branded.
Oh yeah.
And
I will say, I do love how the cabinet all has like giant chains of medals on there of their like
Flavor Flav.
Yeah.
I noticed that too.
and how they're wearing suits, but they don't have arms.
yeah.
Like that's them dressed up.
And all I could think was still in 2505, it's all guys that are in charge. The women haven't revolted yet. Come on, ladies. Come on. We're just workers at the
Starbucks.
at the Starbucks, giving out handies.
Yeah.
Sheesh. I'm disappointed in all the women. I would just assume in the next 500 years that we would be a lot further ahead than just, jerking dudes off at the Starbucks.
I would love.
Wow, that took a left turn. I did not expect to hear that.
I would love to read fan fiction about this world. Like, how amazing would that be?
You do realize that you would be giving your doctor a lot of money to put you on antidepressants if you read fan fiction about that kind of world.
Yeah.
I already do.
You read Idiocracy fan fiction?
No, but I already give my doctor money for my depression medication. So I could just up the dosage.
Yeah. There is that. Mm-hmm. I think really that's what the future is going to become. It's either going to become this or just a whole bunch of zombies who are on all these antidepressants.
Oh my God. Did you see that new movie of like the zombie tidal wave? The zombies are it's from the makers of Sharknado.
Of course.
Yes. Yes. And the dude from 90210 is going to be in it too. And
Ian Ziering?
yeah, that dude. And I saw it on TikTok because, I don't watch TV.
Of course not.
And what's it going to be on? It's going to be on one of those platforms I do not have. But yeah, like they're on a boat and all of a sudden you see this giant tidal wave coming up and it's full of zombies that are like swimming. I'm so excited.
Wait, zombies have learned to swim?
Yes.
Ugh.
That's why people have gone to the sea, like in Waterworld. We're going to watch that. That's going to be April's birthday movie.
Oh, dear God.
Yes, I love those kinds of movies. Okay, I love Sharknado. It's my jam.
I've held her off as long as I could.
Zombie tidal wave.
So people don't have to be forced to listen to us talk about Sharknado.
It's going to be the 2023 movie of the year.
No.
Bet. Bets. Okay, it's going to have
No
more
cap.
views. It's going to have more views than even Tiger King had. Okay.
Okay.
That's how good it's going to be.
I bet not.
Oh, I think so.
No.
Yes.
What's your take? Will it be popular?
The new
Have you
zombie
seen-
movie based on Sharknado. None of that shit is popular with anybody with a brain.
Oh, shots fired.
Excuse me. That is incredibly popular. That's why I love the movie Idiocracy, because it's my people's.
I thought I maybe had a shots fired, but I didn't.
Dun dun dun.
You're kind of hit or miss with those buttons today, aren't you?
I really am. I don't know them well enough.
We hardly ever use the button.
No.
So when she hits one, or just, it's a button she hits.
You're not familiar with what buttons to push. I'm leaving that one alone.
I haven't I haven't learned in the last 500 years. Yeah. Let's see.
So what are some of your favorite parts of this movie?
Overall, Terry Crews. Like, Terry Crews is God to me. So, that was literally the only thing I knew about this movie going into it was Terry Crews was the president. Mm-hmm. Terry Crews can do no wrong.
sorry.
I'm kind of a fan of Maya Rudolph and her early days on SNL. Mm-hmm. And what's his name there? The not sure guy. I forget what his actual name is.
Luke Wilson?
Yeah, him. Him and Owen are favorites of mine as far as acting too.
Okay, so Terry Crews in this movie or Terry Crews in White Chicks?
It has been so long since I've seen White Chicks that I would probably have to refresh my memory. But Terry Crews in anything, really, because Terry Crews, like I said, Terry Crews can do no wrong.
Because him singing Vanessa Carlton, her song, yeah, so great, and hitting on.
I will say I loved him in White Chicks.
Yes, so good. Mm-hmm. We haven't done White Chicks, have we?
No, we haven't.
We should do that. White
That's going to be taken out of context.
Two chicks talking flicks about white chicks.
One white chick.
Yeah, but you said we haven't done White Chicks. That's going to be taken out of context.
Yeah. If I had drops, I would put that in a drop, but I can make that a button.
Oh God.
On my little thing, and then if I remember, I could just push it. Mm-hmm. I like that Fuddruckers gets a shout out.
I love the evolution of their name as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Buttfuckers.
Yeah.
The funny thing is, I actually just watched a video on YouTube, like not even a week ago, about how people are surprised that Fuddruckers is still surviving as a restaurant, even though they've shuttered a lot of their restaurants. I guess there's a ton of people that are surprised that they're still around and actually trying to make a comeback, like full-on comeback.
Huh.
I'll be honest, I've never eaten there.
Really?
Yeah.
I did a lot as a kid. Well, not a lot. Like, it was like every once in a blue moon we get to go to Fuddruckers. But I remember being so excited about it. And then we didn't, I moved here. And then about a year or two before I graduated college, a Fuddruckers came to Denton. And we were like, oh my God. And we went there. It wasn't that great. It wasn't the Fuddruckers I remembered as a kid. I really liked the Pimp Slideshow is what I named it.
Oh, yeah.
And I think
when
that
he went
was,
undercover.
Yeah, I think that was the downfall of the project, obviously. He got in bed with the Upgrade, and
Upgrade would have fit right in too. He had the perfect name.
He would have, yeah.
So, interesting tidbit. I distinctly remember part of the closing credits being Upgrade went into the future looking for Maya.
Oh, really?
He did. So I didn't see that in my, not my version.
Oh, I love that was the twist, that it was a ride. The time travel.
Oh, yeah.
Time machine. It was a ride.
You
and
know
Dax
what?
knew the whole time.
You know what Upgrade made me think of?
What?
All of the people that make it their goal to try to be fashionable with the way that they spell their kids' names.
Oh.
That's all it made me think of because of how he spelled his name.
I love watching those TikToks where kindergarten teachers read the kids' names.
Or the nurse.
Yeah.
Have you seen the nurse one? It's pretty funny.
I don't know that I've seen those.
Oh my God, it's hilarious what these people are naming their kids nowadays. Yeah. And I'm just like, you can name your kid whatever you want, but do you want that name to be President of the United States? You know what I mean?
Okay.
I mean, that's easy for a April, a Sarah, and a Ryan to say.
Well, no, but some of those names are really out there.
Yeah, no, they are.
Okay,
I have to ask, just for the sake of entertainment, for each of you, what is the strangest name that you've heard somebody name their kid? Because I guarantee the one that's in my head, because I actually had this discussion with a friend not even 2 days ago. I guarantee the one that I have can blow it all away.
Honestly, I only have one friend that has kids. And anyone else that I'm acquainted with kids have normal names to unique names, but nothing outrageous that stands out.
We work with a girl. Her name is Dee.
Oh, I found out a story about her.
It's spelled with the letter D.
No, her name is not actually D.
Oh, it's not?
No, when she wrote her resume, she put D and her last name. So when HR put her in the system, they put her in as D last name.
Oh, wow.
So now she doesn't tell anyone what her first name is. So,
wow.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, that goes all back to the HR person, not using her ID legal name.
That's hilarious.
Yep.
I like the bit.
a girl I went to school with, I wasn't affiliated with her in any way. We never had any interaction.
Sure,
I just knew of her. Oh God, trust me. No, my brain wouldn't have been able to handle being around her. But no, I believe it was thankfully after we had already gotten out of school. So she didn't have the kid in school, but the first kid she had, everybody was talking about it. Apparently she named the kid Ultimate Platinum Steel.
Oh God.
And all I could think was, you just set your kid up to work in porn.
Yeah.
They don't even need to change their name. And that's the worst part about it.
Mm-hmm. I remember every time when you said that, I thought of Easy A. My job is to keep the girls off the poles and the boys off the something. I don't know.
Girls.
Pipe.
Oh, the pipe. There you go.
Oh. I like my answer better. keep the boys off the girls.
Yeah. Well, that too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I would rather have not sure as a name. I feel.
If you want to give your kid a unique name, give them two names. One is the unique name and the other name is a normal to rare name. Yeah. Give the child an option, please.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, is there any other parts of this movie that you hate or you liked or surprising?
I don't know that I hated any of it. I can honestly say I don't know that I would watch it again because it made my head hurt. And it, like I said, it concerned me because of the fact that too much of it is already starting to exist in real life. And I don't need to watch a movie to see it all happen around me. Mm-hmm. So I don't know that I would watch it again, but I'm not disappointed that I watched it.
It's the voices of all the idiots that bothered me. Just the way they were talking bugged me. So they could be stupid, but not sound like they're talking like this. So
that just sounds like, what's his name there? Brad. He was on Everybody Loves Raymond. He was the
older brother,
the big brother.
Robert.
Yeah,
Robert. I forget what his real name is. Brad something.
Yeah.
But that's what it made me. That's what that imitation just made me think of.
What about you, April?
What was the question?
Anything you love or hated?
I hated personally the toilet chair.
Yeah.
You know, like
that cracked me up.
I could see it happening, but like, I hope that's not what society goes towards.
I would never.
There's a lot I don't want them to go towards, but that's kind of disgusting.
I can tell you it actually already exists. Not in mass quantities, but it already exists.
I'm not surprised.
I would never sit for 2 hours watching a movie about an ass. I love that you laugh, though.
I love how
I'm not saying anything.
I love like he got invited to something and like everybody was like, oh, and then they just started kicking him and stuff.
Yeah.
Poor guy.
Weird.
You got to figure I'm in a wheelchair, so everything I see is ass, so it wouldn't really faze me.
Yeah, that's true. All right. So April, because this is your movie, I'll let you start it off. What would you rate this movie?
A 9 out of 10. I honestly wish it was longer.
Oh, God.
I would have liked another 15 to 20 minutes of more movie.
All right, Ryan, what about you?
I personally think that's a little too generous, but that's just a personal opinion. I'm only going to give it a 5 because of Terry Crews.
Oh. All right. 5 out of 10. What's
Terry Crews'.
Terry Crews?
Yeah.
All right.
5 out of 10 muscles, because that's what Terry Crews has now.
I will give it, because I liked it more than the Royal Tenenbaums.
What?
Yeah. That was insufferable, and I will never watch that again. This, if it's on TV, I might stay and watch it, but I will give it a 6 out of 10. Could have used more Maya Rudolph and her
Go off on her little adventures.
prostitution ways. Yeah.
Yeah, I can agree with that. Maya Rudolph was great in that movie.
I kept thinking she was going to yell at him and be like, I'm a prostitute. But she didn't. I liked it. I liked that she just kept sucking it up and never saying anything.
Mm-hmm.
You know, keeping up the clever ruse.
Yep.
All right. Well, I think that's all the fun we can have for the day. So, April.
Are you calling us old?
Yes. Yes. So, April, where can they find us?
Two Chicks Talkin Flicks at gmail.com.
And if you want to tell us all the stuff you love and hate about this movie, you can find us at Two Chicks Talkin Flicks at Gmail.
Hey, Ryan, where can people find you?
Anywhere and everywhere, Chaos and Conversation. It's stylized differently on different platforms just because of, character length and everything. Mm-hmm. But when you type in Chaos and Conversation, you have to use the actual and sign, and you'll most likely find us. The logo currently is a bright yellow and blue microphone, which is what we currently have because we wanted to do something for spring and summer that was a little bit more lively. But yeah, I'll send you guys the information and you can put it in your episode description so people can find it easier.
Ryan, don't mansplain to me and tell me what I'm gonna do. Sheesh.
I prefer midget splaining because I'm short.
Oh. Mm-hmm. Well, I guess if people want to contact you or whatever, look for the stuff he said that he's going to send me, and I'll post it, I guess.
Somewhere.
If I can figure it out with my little girl brain. Maybe I'll go down to the Starbucks and give a prostitute some money and see if she can do it.
Wow. You
just went way too far with that one.
Did I? Okay. Sorry. All right. Well, thank you so much, Ryan, for being on and getting in with our shenanigans.
I'm glad to be here.
Yes, I'm glad you're here. Can't wait to hear the episode that I'm on. I'm a narcissist. I love to hear my own voice. I'm just kidding. I don't like to hear my voice. It's really weird. It creeps me out.
Yeah, I have that issue when I'm editing any given episode. I can't stand listening to my parts of it. But I will say that I think just by virtue of being a content creator, there is some level of narcissism in that, because figure you're banking on people being interested in what you're saying, so that there is a level of narcissism in that. And I didn't understand the psychology of that until I got into podcasting.
Oh, yeah. It makes sense. It does.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm already full of myself. I'm not surprised. Like, yeah. I remember one time I posted something somewhere. This was like forever ago. And then I immediately liked it. And then somebody else came on. They're like, why did you like your own post? I was like, why not? Why can't I like it? I was like, it's one like. Like, who cares? Like, I'm not going to. I think it was on Twitter. I was like, why wouldn't I hit the little heart? Okay. Like, it's right there.
Yeah. I don't know, man.
So, yeah. It has not deterred me. I like everything I like.
That's true. She's very set in her ways. She likes it. She likes it.
Yep.
I like it. I like it. All right, guys. Well, you can follow us on all of our socials. Comment, review, give us 5 stars. This episode was produced by Two Chicks Talkin Flicks. Music was produced by Michael Girvani. If you like this episode, please like and subscribe. If you'd like to be a part of the show, have a movie suggestion, or just want to give us some love, you can email us at twochickstalkinflicks@gmail.com. Thanks, guys. Toodles.